In this video, we exit Leeds, South Dakota, and after an overnight stay at the Fountain of Youth RV Park in Thermopolis and a visit to its thermal pool, a stop for coffee in Red Lodge, Montana, and a trip over the Beartooth Pass, we end up in Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone is massive, and with so much to see, it's impossible to take it all in at once. Especially in our case, we only had 2 days. We had a game plan, which I recommend everyone have. First, decide what you want to see most. Maybe it's wildlife, or geysers, or whatever. Do what you want to do, see what you want to see, and don't worry about anyone else's must-see list. That's for them, not for you. Second, try to find lodging or camping nearest the things that are most important for you. Luckily, we found a gem of a location, the Fox Creek Campground, a bit outside of Cook, Montana, at the northeast corner of the park. There were plenty of available sites at this first-come, first-served National Forest campground with electric, which is unusual, for $30 a night, $15 with our America the Beautiful Pass for old people. We have scored the best campground ever, maybe, I don't know. Check out some of these views. This literally is the view from our campsite. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I walk over here, behind this big evergreen is coming into view, that peak right there, Pilot Peak. But this is a terrific campground. It's Labor Day 2025. There's hardly anybody here. I think there's maybe 4 other campers. It's terrific. Wildlife gets up early, and the next day, so did we, before 5 a.m., and started the 35-mile drive to hike the Lamar Valley Trail. It was dark, with lots of beady eyes looking at us. Deer were everywhere. Pam spotted them first. Good thing, since she's the night driver. I would have never seen it right on the side of the road. Look at that, cool. If you ever want to know what driving through the entrance to Yellowstone looks like at 5:30 in the morning, this is it. The Lamar Valley hike is an easy 7-mile hike over relatively flat terrain, although we didn't follow the All Trails map exactly, and our hike ended up being about 5 miles long. So we're not very far in. Pam has, with her naked eye, spotted bison. And then in the field, just a little white thing. Looked at it through my scope, turned out to be an antelope. I don't know how the hell she sees these things, but everything catches her eye. I don't know if you can hear that, but somewhere up in that hill across the way are coyotes. Right after that, we saw a surly little bison right on our trail. We had to wait till it left before we could move on, and that wouldn't be the only time that happened. As we continued our walk along the Lamar River, we saw a family of antelope who seemed as curious about us as we were about them. So we stopped at this awesome end of trail little picnic area. I mean, there's no tables or anything. It's just a really beautiful place right on the river. And now we're going to head back. It's about 2.8 miles here, 2.8 miles back, so 5.6 by the time we're done. As we cut across a plateau, we came across a herd of pronghorn, and I can tell you Mama Pronghorn was not too happy with us and gave us the evil eye until we got out of range. The Lamar Valley hike early in the morning turned out to be an exhilarating experience. And although we didn't see any wolves or bears, there were bison, antelope, and deer aplenty. It was a great way to start our 2-day Yellowstone adventure. For the balance of day 1, we rested our legs and did the driving tourist thing. First stop, Calcite Springs. The springs are a short drive south of the Tower Roosevelt area and not too far from our hike in Lamar Valley. There's no hike you can get down to see the springs because it's too dangerous, so you have to see what you can from the overlook. The way it works is that the heat of underground fractures releases deposits of oil from rock deep below the surface and slowly and sporadically seep to the surface here. So hot it can liquefy sulfur that looks like molasses when it comes up from the ground. Next stop was Tower Falls. Our first vantage point wasn't so good, so we moved down to get a better view of this 132-foot falls over the Yellowstone River. I'm glad we hiked early because the temps were rising as we drove another 20 miles south over Dunraven Pass to see lower Yellowstone Falls from a couple of viewpoints, including the famous Inspiration Point. Now we're just sort of doing the touristy thing. Just stopped for like 30 seconds at Inspiration Point. I'm now totally inspired. We continued our journey along the Grand Loop, now turning westward to Norris Geyser Basin, and we ran into our first experience with the infamous Yellowstone traffic jam and full parking lots. Hi. So we found a spot on overfull parking by Norris Geyser Basin. I don't know, it's probably a quarter of a mile hike maybe to the basin, and then we'll see from there. 1.6, that's cool.
1 mile and 0.25. We can do that.
So 3 miles altogether. At the end of the day, I have no idea how long we hiked. Could have been 3 miles, who knows, but I can tell you 3 things. First of all, these geysers are hot. I mean, sexy hot. They are really cool. Secondly, they're hot. Like, they're really warm. They're hot. And third, it was hot outside. It was like 80 degrees. So we were super, super hot. But it was well worth it. It was really a cool hike. My only recommendation is pick a cool day or a cool part of a day. At this point, we were both pretty gassed, but we decided to finish the Grand Loop, so we drove past Mammoth Hot Springs, too tired to actually get out of the car, and then made the loop back all the way to Cook City, Montana, and back to our campground. Cook City at 5:53 a.m. We had a plan for day 2 as well. First, we were headed back into Lamar Valley, and right where the Slough Creek Road hits the northeast entrance road is where all the wolf watchers go, and we were hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive wolf. The likelihood of seeing one up close is small, so you need a spotting scope or binoculars. We had both. There are people here with radios to keep track of the tagged wolves, and it takes a little patience to say the least. We saw a sole antelope, a coyote, which at first I confused with a wolf, and a lazy bison moving slowly across the trail. So we've been here at Slough Creek for, 20 minutes. We have not seen any wolves. I'm using my telephoto lens on my camera. Pam is using binoculars. We've not seen anything. A number of people have already left, but we're not leaving. Blue Valley did not disappoint. We thought it was going to, but we ended up seeing a whole wolf pack coming down a hill. Way too far away for me to get a photo with my lousy little telephoto lens, and certainly this camera is not going to get it. But it was really cool to see an entire wolf pack, pronghorn, buffalo, and a baldy. It was a good day so far, and it's only and a fox, and it's only 8:30 in the morning. So this is the road to Slough Creek Campground and the Soldiers Trail trailhead. That's the trail that we're going up, and that's the trail that nobody does. Next up, our big event, what I'm calling the Soldiers Trail to Slough Creek Loop Trail. The trails are marked on the Yellowstone Park map, and 2 rangers we talked to said it was doable, but interestingly enough, it's not on all trails. Therefore, I'm claiming naming rights because it's a path that apparently no one takes, or at least they don't find it worthy to video or blog about. This trail takes you across the Slough Creek at the Slough Creek Campground, through a valley, over a small path, then down what is known as the First Meadow if you're doing the traditional and very popular Slough Creek Trail, and then again across Slough Creek. The second crossing was our main concern because most of the videos that show the creek at our planned crossing seem to show a river, not a creek, one that could be chest high. However, another ranger we spoke to said that at this time of year, it was likely doable. They seemed to like that word doable. It hadn't warmed up yet, still in the 40s, so we wore neoprene socks and water shoes for our first water crossing, which really wasn't too bad. I went first, Pam went second. We just accomplished challenge number 1. Crossed the river, changed our water shoes into our hiking boots, and off we go. First part of the trail crossed a beautiful meadow. The trail looked like it was more like for horses or mules, although we didn't really see any evidence of recent usage. The trail paralleled the Slough Creek at this point. Absolutely gorgeous. And we have this whole place to ourselves. We were making our ascent up the trail to the pass to the meadow. I was checking all trails when this happened.
Bear. Bear. Bear.
Looks like a black bear. Can't tell, but
It's a young one.
going the other way. Pam actually got a better shot of him on her iPhone. And I'll tell you one thing, he seemed a lot closer than it looks in the video, that's for sure. So, we just saw our first bear. Looked to be a small black bear. Big enough for me, however. It was so cool. Glad it wasn't a grizzly and glad it was going the other way, that's for sure. Check this place out, though. If I could say my words, you would have heard me say, check this place out. Fire had clearly scorched this landscape in the past, but Mother Nature was making a comeback. Once you've made it over the pass, about a mile and 400 feet of elevation gain, you come to what the Slough Creek trailers call the first meadow. They look at it from the bottom, we're looking at it from the top down.
So that river way over there is where we need to cross. But the path goes down here and then across.
Mile hike down the meadow was devoid of wildlife except for a lone bison we almost walked into as it was lying in the grass. And we made it to Slough Creek and our second crossing. And much to our relief, the ranger was right. It was very doable. This time Pam crossed first in bare feet, and I followed suit. The view you see here of the first meadow is frequently shown in videos about the Slough Creek hike. At this point, we took the busy Slough Creek Trail roughly 2.5 miles back to the Slough Creek Trailhead,
How you doing?
adding another 200 feet of elevation gain, along with a greeting from a passing mule train. And on the way out, Yellowstone gave us one last glimpse of its grandeur.
1, 2, and Mama. Oh, are they sweet? What do you got, Mom?
Yellowstone is a must-see park, and whether experiencing it by car or on foot, you won't be disappointed. We hope you enjoyed this adventure. Please give us a like and come along with us in the next saga of our 2025 West Coast journey as we head to the Grand Tetons and find Mother Nature exerting her control. Until next time, carry on. Cheers.